What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to convince you that this guy right here, you see this white guy you're looking at right here, his real name is Giacomo Casanova, guys. Okay, he was a famous Italian adventurer, guys. Okay, he was a famous womanizer. During his lifetime, he had so many sexual partners, guys. Yeah, in fact, he was so famous in history that the term Casanova, you may have heard that term Casanova, is derived from this man right here. So that if you say, someone is a Casanova today, you are basically comparing that person to this dude right here, Giacomo Casanova, an Italian guy. Okay, but when you look at these images, it all depicts a white guy. Okay, there's a reason for this, guys. Okay, there's a reason why he depicts a white guy, because the truth is European history has been whitewashed severely. It's ridiculous, guys. Okay, but in this video right here, I'm going to prove to you that Giacomo Casanova, this dude right here, okay, the most successful and most famous womanizer, lover of women in the world, was in fact a black man, guys. That's what I'm going to show to you guys in this video. It's going to be very crazy. We're going to begin this research using this book right here called Sex and Race, published in the year 1944, and then it was renewed in 1972. Okay, let's see what this book says about Giacomo Casanova. All right, guys, so here is the book we're going to use. It's called Sex and Race, Negro Caucasian Mixing in All Ages and All Lands by J.A. Rogers, guys. Okay, this is volume 1 of the book. Volume 1, titled The Old World. Okay, let's see what we can learn from this. Okay, so this book itself was published in the year 1942, but it was renewed in 1968. All right, guys, so here we are on pages 168. We're going to learn some very powerful things about Giacomo Casanova, guys. Okay, yeah, this dude. But in 2005, a movie was actually made about this character, guys. Okay, that movie starred Heath Ledger, the actor who played Joker in one of those Dark Knight Batman movies. Okay, and he played Casanova in that movie, and obviously the guy is a Caucasian. So Giacomo Casanova, this Italian adventurer, was portrayed as a Caucasian. But we're gonna learn some powerful things right here on this page, guys. Okay, volume 1 of Sex and Race, page 168. Look at what it says right here. Casanova, the world's most famous lover, had a Negro mistress. Really? He says, a handsome negress who served the prettiest of my actresses, to whom I have showed great attention, said to me one day. Okay, so this is what the Negro woman said to Casanova one day. Look at what she said. I can't make out how you can be so much in love with my mistress, who is as white as the devil. Okay, that's what the black woman, the Negro woman, says to Casanova at one point. Okay, she says she cannot believe that her master, who is Casanova in this case, okay, can be so much in love with a woman, a mistress, who is white. Okay, a white woman. Okay, basically Casanova was having a relationship with a white woman, so this Negro woman basically scolded him for doing that. Now think about it. Why would a black woman, right, a Negro woman, scold a white man for being attracted to and dating a white woman? Doesn't make any sense, does it? No, it does not make sense. But you're about to see why this black woman is scolding Casanova. Okay, very powerful stuff. Okay, so let's keep going. Have you never loved a white man? I asked. So Casanova asked the Negro woman, have you never loved a white man? And then she responded, yes, said she, but only because I had no Negro to whom I certainly should have been giving the preference. That's a powerful line there, guys. Okay, so the Negro woman responded to Casanova, said that the only reason why she was with a white man was because she had no Negro man to which she should have been giving, preference for. Okay, soon after, the negress became mine, and I found out the falsities of the axiom. That's the axiom right here. Sublata lucena nullum something that I cannot read. Okay, but let's see what the idea of that line is. For even in the darkness, a man would know a black woman from a white one. Okay, so that was a saying that they had back in the day, I guess, even in darkness. And apparently Casanova found out the falsity of this axiom. So when he was with a black woman, I guess he didn't know the difference between her from a white one. That's the idea. Okay, but let's continue. This observation may be more significant than it seems. Okay, it's very significant. Casanova appears to have had more than a touch of the tar brush himself. Tar brush. Tar is dark colored, meaning he had some dark color to him. Let's see why he says that. Casanova appears to have been more than a touch of the tar brush himself, as the most intimate description of him indicates. The Prince de Ligne, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well, guys, okay? The Prince de Ligne, who knew him very well, says something in French right here that I cannot read, sorry, okay? But let's see the translation of it. Look at what it means. He says about Casanova, he would have been a fine-looking man if he had not been so ugly. That is very strange to say. Someone would have been a fine-looking man if he had not been so ugly. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so he's the prince that is describing Casanova now. He says, he was tall and built like a Hercules. Yes, he was a muscular, big, strong guy, right? But, look at what he now says about Casanova. But he had an African complexion. That's very powerful right there, guys. If you don't know why, because let me show you guys the definition of complexion in this very old book from 1828. All right, guys, so here we are on the Dictionary of the English Language. It's a very old dictionary, guys, published in 1828. Jesus Christ, guys, 1828. Let's see how complexion is defined in this book. Okay, so complexion means the color of the skin, particularly of the face, the color of the external part of the body of thing, such as a fair complexion. Caucasians, as a people, have fair complexion, guys, or a dark complexion. Yes, black people, guys, are dark complected people. Okay, so going back to the book, the Prince of Ligne, or the Prince of Ligne, I guess that's basically it, who knew him very well, who knew Casanova very well, says that he would have been a fine-looking man if he had not been so ugly. He was tall, built like Hercules, but he had an African complexion, meaning he had the color of skin that the Africans have. So what kind of people are Africans? I hope I don't have to describe to you what an African is, but an African is a black person, guys, okay? Very important that you understand. The reason why this Negro woman at the top of this page right here was scolding Casanova for being with a white woman was because Casanova was a black man, guys, okay? She wasn't telling a white man not to be with a white woman. No, she was telling a black man to stop dealing with white women, guys, okay? Very powerful stuff, okay? So he's telling you right here, the people that knew him very well, they knew that Casanova had an African complexion, guys. Very powerful stuff. If you guys haven't read this book, Sex and Race, it's very powerful. I think it's about 3 or 4 volumes of the book by J.A. Rogers. This guy goes deep, okay, and he always leaves a lot of sources to all his information. So I definitely recommend you guys checking out this book. Very powerful stuff, guys, okay? The history of Negroes has been whitewashed. I'm not making it up, okay? Some of you, sometimes when I make some videos, you guys, you can't handle it. You're like, there's no way this is true. It's what the history books are saying, guys, okay? Don't worry about the nonsense you saw on TV or the stuff you were taught in schools. Those places exist to indoctrinate you, to give you a false narrative of history. Okay, true history is written in many of these books. If you go through them, you will see it for yourself, guys. Giacomo Casanova, this guy that was played by Heath Ledger, the Caucasian actor. I believe he's deceased now. No, this dude had an African complexion. Why didn't they cast someone that had an African complexion to play him in that movie in 2005? It's because they didn't want people to know the truth, guys, okay? And this guy was an Italian. Keep that in mind. Italians with African complexion is telling you something there, guys, okay? These are black people. There were black people throughout many of these parts of the world. This narrative that Hollywood pushes, that everyone in Europe was a white guy, it's a lie. If you go through history slowly, you will easily see that it's a complete lie, guys, okay? There were so many black people throughout all of these regions, okay? Very powerful stuff. I'll see you guys on the next video.